Good morning
Hey.
or good afternoon, whatever time zone y'all are in.
Right.
Hello,
Time zones
everybody.
are a nightmare.
Welcome to today's edition of The Blind Leading the Blind. Nobody who can actually work this system is with us. Nobody has direct access to the studio. We're all just on here as panel guests and hitting things as they happen. It's a miracle that I managed to get the intro to work. Anything could have happened. It's 9 a.m. on the East Coast, noon on the West Coast, and 5 p.m. in the UK. I hope you're all well. Today could be a hell of an experiment. When this was planned, there were going to be quite a few more of us than there are actually here. Thank God for we. Which
Thank
is
you,
strange
we.
because I know we is currently being discussed on an alternative channel as
I'm
we
very
speak.
popular.
Very
What can I
popular.
say?
Your fan club hard at it as we speak, but obviously we no longer know exactly what's going on there. I'm sure it's all
Well.
complimentary.
Do we want subs only on, Pearl?
I think that would be a good idea,
Stars, yes,
actually.
please do.
Thank you,
I am
stars.
incredibly grateful for any
I
help. And
appreciate the reminder.
if the world topples over, you're just going to have to bear with us because we're doing our best. Well, they say learn on the job. This is like being thrown into the swimming pool to learn how to swim. So we'll
No
see how it
joke.
goes. Oh, Roxy's here.
Yay! Hi,
Roxy, I
Roxy.
have a special
Hey.
treat for you.
Hi, Widow.
Hey.
Texas Tornado. Jackie Jude, Carrie, stars. Love you guys, all of you.
Tara,
Rita
I'm gonna
Taylor's
get
with us.
Tara.
my people to talk to your people. We'll make it happen. Hey.
Yes, yeah. StreamYard for Dummies needs to happen. So yeah, Roxy, are you going to be with us for a while? I hope so, because I have something special for you.
Oh, present.
Woohoo!
But in the meantime, I don't know how many of you are aware of just how bad the tabloids are in the UK.
Ooh.
Yes, exactly. They are
Hi, Stella.
persistent. They will find out everything about you. They will do anything to get a story. You can be royalty, the most famous. Savgirl has come to the attention of both the Sun
Oh my
and the Mail.
lord.
I would not like to be in your position because our tabloids are notorious for a reason. And they love a story where somebody is doing the dirty to a family that have had some sort of tragedy. And
Oh.
there you are. One of the top stories on both Mail Online and The Sun Online. The English tabloids or the UK tabloids are aware of your existence. Yeah, I probably, if I were you, would have backtracked and got my apology out there when it was just News Nation. Because
Right.
Brian Entin is a far more polite and serious journalist than the people that you're going to be dealing with now. Yeah. Oh, also, you made Newsweek.
Oh.
Oh,
Oh.
wow.
I have to admit, the pit of my stomach fell there
I know,
whenever I
it's not
saw
even,
it.
that was my response when I saw it this morning, because I do like to check through all the different online news things. And I just thought, flipping out, this is, I mean, you think that our corner of YouTube,
Hey, September.
although it deals with very big subjects, is not
Hi,
necessarily the
Nanny.
biggest corner of YouTube, which tends to be things like what Mr. Beast and makeup channels and cooking channels and whatever. When you gain the attention of international news because of something you've done that people feel very strongly and negatively about, you have just made your life very, very complicated indeed. You might think that you're hiding behind the name Zav Girl. Let me tell you that if they can hack the royal family's phones, they won't have too much of a problem finding out who you are. If I were you, I would be aware of your security because there's a fair chance that a strange man with a camera will approach you.
Your audio is cutting out Pearl occasionally.
Can you hear me now? Can you hear me?
Hello.
Shall I tell you
Hi.
what my problem is?
Of course, yes.
I keep putting my bloody elbow on this mute button that is halfway down the cord on this bloody headset. I need to move it somewhere or sellotape it to something. The amount of times that I've done it. Yes. Spudler, who's also in the UK. Hi, it's good to see you, Spudler.
Hey.
I don't know Spudler very well. I came across it in Queen Bee's chat where we were discussing. Oh, and I've just removed Eliza. Let me put you back. I told you it's going to be all excitement. I came across Spudler in Queen Bee's chat when we were discussing Summer's Day, and she was discussing the fact that people need to bring attention to missing persons in their local area, which I agreed with. And she had prepared a video for somebody local to her and not so far away from me. And I shared that. It was a very well done video, Spudler. And Spudler knows, as well as any of us from the UK, exactly how relentless the UK tabloids are. When Spudler says they probably already know who she is, I would think that Spudler is correct.
I think there's a lot of, although a lot of journalists have a bad reputation because, people do terrible things, even those that we trust for information. But we all know that there are certain levels of journalism that will make YouTube look like playtime at the beach. And I think that's where this is Newsweek, etc., the slightly more respectable side. Again, I know people have their opinions on all of the things, but once you hit tabloid newspapers, oh, everything. You think YouTube is nosy and wants to get into your business? Lordy, you're in trouble now, lady. You're in trouble. Time for a come to Jesus meeting very quickly.
Yeah, I can't say that I would be too thrilled at the idea of the Sun being aware of who I am.
Right?
Uh,
Can you imagine?
yeah, I mean, it used to be the news of the world, but things got so bad for the news of the world that they had to, even the Sun had to reject the news of the world to save themselves. But as Simpson says, Soup says, even here in the States, they know how notorious the UK tabloids are. I don't know whether she's aware of it. Somebody maybe should tip her off before her first encounter with them is, like I said, the man with the camera in the bushes.
Oh gosh. And we know that's the problem in a way. We already know if by the time this is even hit online, they're already on it. They're already neck deep in it. There's no calling that off. There's no emailing somebody and just giving a sort of half-assed apology. That's not gonna work. There's this stuff doesn't go away now. As much as I have very strong opinions about what I did, I hope that she takes some corrective measures very quickly for her own mental health, safety, all of it, all of it. Do the right thing right now.
I completely agree. I mean, I had no sympathy for her over the last few days, and certainly in the discussion that we had last night. But when it comes to this, genuinely something that I would not wish on my worst enemy. It it becomes immaterial whether you have accidentally made a huge gaffe or deliberately made a huge gaffe and then realised what a huge gaffe you've made. They don't care. They will just roll over you. You are just fodder. You're just headline fodder. I I can't stress to you enough how disconnected from humanity some of these people can be. It's quite amazing what people will do for a paycheck.
Right.
And speaking of tabloid nonsense, did anybody catch Don B's thumbnail this morning?
Look, I'm just telling you right now, Pearl, because just to put this in context for my American friends, recently, all over the news, especially tabloid news, there has been a whole situation with a television presenter of very good standing, years and years of good standing, and a whole situation with his bare butt cheeks. If we end up with a bare butt cheek situation here from Don B, I'm holding you all responsible. No, I'm just telling you now.
I promise you, with my hand on my heart, I would not share Don B's butt cheeks, no matter how good a storyline it would make.
Thank you.
No, well,
I didn't see this though.
the title of his live is not particularly clickbaity, but there was a point in which, when making his thumbnail, he decided this was going to be the thing to go with.
Oh, yes, I did see that.
Oh.
Yes, I did see that. That is just too much.
It's a heck of a choice, isn't it?
Oh, it's quite the choice indeed.
Probably at this point, worth reminding people who are perhaps not that well acquainted with Don B. Don B is the person that you have to thank for Ziggy coming to the attention of most of True Crime YouTube. From a non-entity channel right at the beginning, her big boost came from Don B recovering what she'd said and the traffic that sent to her. Also, more recently, Don B has actually had a cease and desist on him from Candace. I think it was a cease and desist or protection order. I can't remember, but he kept accidentally bumping into her. You know, filming her driving on the road, driving past the house that she was staying in, lots of little things like that, until he was eventually told that he needed to back up. So I suppose this particular image isn't too far out of the realms of what we should expect, but we're talking about a missing 5-year-old here. And it's pretty clear there that this is not daddy instructing daughter on gardening technique. I mean, there's no real way to dress this up as it's a dead body and the man is about to dig a hole.
No, we aren't planting the autumn crops, you know.
Yeah. What are you thinking, Don B? Honestly, sort of. Yeah, I just don't understand what the hell went through his mind deciding that that was the thumbnail he was going to go to.
It's just vile. It's vile.
Anyway, welcome to everybody coming in. For those people who weren't here at the very beginning, you're being driven by the learner division, who don't really know what they're doing. If the car suddenly stalls, bear with us. We're doing our best. We're not sure what any of the pedals do, and we have a very tenuous grip on the wheel.
Beep beep.
Beep, beep, motherfuckers. I don't know whether Chris is in the chat. Is Roxy still with us? Because I'm about to play something for Roxy if Roxy is in the chat.
She was.
If you can give us a wave, Roxy, so that I know that you're here.
Oh, Roxy. Hi, Marlena.
Right, Spudler, you've already got your sleeves rolled up. We're ready for action. Let's
We
go.
appreciate it, Spudler. We may need help from the UK division just to get through this. I'll wait until we see whether Roxy is about. Oh, Roxy's here. Roxy. Roxy, I have something especially for you. I hope you enjoy it. Let me just see whether I can actually play it, having said that.
Pearl killed it again.
Oh,
I love it.
But anyone
little-
confused, I believe Widow is slightly confused. That is a public service announcement for people like Roxy in the chat, whose unfortunate dog had an unfortunate haircut at the hands of its owner. So I was shown the images of poor old Winnie, and Eliza said this would make a great advert. And I thought, well, let's give it a go and see what we can do. It'll have to be a public service announcement because I don't believe anyone's going to buy your skills as a dog hairdresser. Do you want me to run it again so you can appreciate it now, Roxy, now that you've seen it once?
oh, I think that would be perfect. Sorry, everybody. I don't know how that color by numbers picture got up there. Sorry about that. But yes, it
What's
did.
this one?
Oh,
Hang on, no,
shit.
I think I can hide it.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness.
Oh, no, I can't. Hang on. I've got it.
By numbers.
Yes, Winnie is not
I've been there.
famous.
I've been there with my dogs. I even tried to clip a cat one time. She just laid still for it, and I was bad, and I just started laughing. I was like, "Oh my gosh, this poor cat." But I did trim one of my dogs because she's a Great Pyrenees. Okay, never trim them in the back on their legs. Oh my gosh, it looked like two sticks walking away. I was just trying to make her look nice and neat back there, so when she went poo, it's like it just looked bad. And I think now if I say clip or toes, she like darts.
Right.
She runs from me. She's like, "Oh no, you're not."
Is this
Trauma.
the same dog that was given the special butter?
Oh no, that's Cooper. Cooper got the special butter. Cooper got high and had, yeah. Cooper had to
Roxy,
have that when he was having thoughts of Amy. So I was trying to make him sleep so he'd leave her alone. He was
Roxy,
being
I
a
will
little.
put the video on public in a little while, and you are more than welcome to use it whenever you would like.
stars.
Poor
Oh,
Winnie. I hope Winnie's hair is growing back.
I hope so too. Oh, you guys, last night, it was the funniest thing. And I wish I could have captured a picture because it reminded me of people lurking in the bushes. I was looking for my dogs. They were out there chasing a frog. All of a sudden, I can't see them. Well, we've got these weeds that have overgrown. My husband hasn't taken care of yet, way in the back. And I knock on the glass and I see a head pop out of the weeds. And then I see a littler hand pop out. It was, oh my gosh, it was so funny. And I was like, you guys cracked me up. And they were just looking at me, yeah, what do you want? But it reminded me of our lurking in the bushes.
Right, Roxy, I feel that pain as well of whenever you're like, this is very expensive. I have
Oh, it
both
is.
minor rescues, but one in particular is a very, very nervous attendee at vet visits, at the groomers, all of the things, hates it, turns into what can only be described as a rabid squirrel on crack. It's not a good situation for him, for them, any of it. None of it is enjoyable. It gives me great anxiety. So I was like, it's okay. I can do this. So now I'm the one that's doing it, and oh Lord, it's a whole it's a multiple day process, and he's only a tiny wee thing. But so much can go wrong that I feel like I'm constantly bribing him, like, come on now, come on now.
I tried that too. Trying to get him in the car, and it was raining that day, and he wouldn't get in the car. I said I quit.
Whatever you're
I
wanting
couldn't.
me to do here, I'm not doing it.
Yeah. It's like it's so simple. Just get in the car. We tried. I even put a hot dog in a bag and said, "Here,
Not the hot
stink."
dog.
He's like, "I know what you're trying to do."
Oh dear.
They need to come to my house and deal with my dogs here. We need a mobile vet.
I agree with her. Wee's laugh is the best. And what makes Wee's laugh even better,
I love
not
it.
just the enjoyment of the actual laugh, is knowing the carpet biting fury it sends Kurt into is just cherry on the delicious cake of Wee's laugh.
She has the best laugh. You do.
Tits was saying that Wee's laugh on ×2 is the best thing ever. I will have to try that sometime.
You're
I haven't heard it
welcome,
yet, but I can
Pollyanna.
imagine.
I'm so sorry.
Oh, but when what was it, a few days ago or last week, you sounded horrible, and I was so worried about you
Oh, it
because
was
I was like,
grim.
"Where's my wee?"
I was about 30 foot underwater. It
No
felt like it
joke.
was,
You
it was
You
horrific.
sound like you felt so bad.
Just one of those times in life where you're like, everything's gone a wee bit sideways right now. This is unpleasant. This isn't good for
Yeah.
anyone, especially me. But we survived, and I know that Purple's very happy to hear that. Thank you, Purple, for all your good wishes. I appreciate the card, the gift basket, the edible arrangements.
Did you
Thank
get the
you.
coloring? Did you get coloring books too?
Oh, it was adorable. I had the best time. The best time. I colored paints like a pro.
Did she send you different color crayons?
Well, no, just the one shade of blue, because we didn't want to get carried away with herself.
5 Shades of Blue. The even worse sequel to 50 Shades of Grey.
She didn't leave Discord. She has her own.
I don't know. I'm floating about all over the place at the moment because sometimes Discord can be a political business. Yeah.
And we try to avoid that as much as possible. But
Well, yeah, we do. And then that's why there's times where you have to just take a wee moment, refocus, and you think, right, this is the best way to handle this for now.
right. For now, yeah.
So that's why there's been a wee sidestep, nothing unfortunate. Oh, I can promise you that. It's just for now. And I'm still here. Hey, Purple, hey.
I've just read a comment that Perp is currently trying to get people to tweet Brian Enton about Eve. Can I remind you that however you feel about Eve, I tend to be in the middle. I'm somewhat ambivalent. Eve is a pregnant woman, and you might have some regard for that, even if you don't give a damn about her as a person, given that we hear so often how much people put kids first. Also, Brian Enton is going to be absolutely inundated with the grudges of true crime. Everybody who's got an angle is going to be tweeting the guy. He's going to be sick to death of this sector by the end of the day, I would imagine.
Well,
I'm sure he's got some accountability type tweets
oh,
going
don't.
on.
Oh,
'cause
Lord.
that seems to be the fashion for everything true crime at the moment. I'm just sipping my accountability as we speak.
I hate you right now.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think they do
poor
think
old
that it's going to
Purple.
garner the same attention as Avgirl. I'm not convinced it is.
Well,
I'm not even convinced it's in the same ballpark. I mean, I understand that there is some serious infighting going on around that case, but I'm pretty sure Brian Enton doesn't want to get involved in the fuckery. Not if he's got any
Yeah.
sense, anyway.
this is where it's all a wee bit facile and playground behavior. Whenever you have to run to either a bigger creator or an outside body because your feelings are hurt, you know those little fifis that she talks about all the time. Her
Not the
little fifis,
fifis.
especially the fifis. The fifis got hurt because Eve knows more about the case than she does, and because she doesn't bow down to the almighty Purple. Rage has ensued, pure and utter rage. I can pretty much guarantee that wherever Eve is sitting right now, she's like, go ahead, tweet Brian Enton. That man has at least the cognitive ability to formulate a sentence without ramming Cheez-Its up his nostrils. He can manage to figure things out. And that's where Purple's about to show her entire ass. So I love that for you, Purple. Carry on. Carry on. Hey, Heidi. Hey.
Can we call the Popo and tell on poo?
Well,
Chris Dawn, I agree with you. Al is a particularly
Hey,
eloquent man.
JBT.
I think if anybody who heard his victim statement at the end of the trial, it had massive impact. I mean, it just broke my heart. He really did go out of his way to talk about Gannon as the little boy that he was. You know, the clips that he played when we heard Gannon's voice and the way that he spoke about him, I thought was great in that he brought the reality of everything that was taken away from this child back to the main focus when it's so easy and so understandable. Don't get me wrong, completely understandable. That quite often when you hear these victim statements, it focuses on the grief and the suffering of the people who were left behind. And why wouldn't it? But it was wonderful how he brought the focus back to the person who had lost the most in this, which was the person who was no longer here. And I feel sorry for him being pulled into yet another conversation around this case when I'm sure that, no, of course, he can't forget and he'll never completely move on. But I would imagine that he would want to be in the process of starting to rebuild and not have that as the center of his every waking thought. And so soon after the trial is finished, he's sucked back into it. Oh, Spudler, did you? I helped to get the Patreon site down. I'm proud of that. I simply pointed
Good for
out that
you. I'm
those
glad.
images were illegal to view in the UK. They are illegal to view in the UK,
Right.
Spudler. And also, I went through the community guidelines of Patreon last night, and I actually
Hey,
made
Cindy.
a brief sort of screen grab video of them. And it does specifically say images of corpses are not allowed. And there's no getting around the fact that that's exactly what she was dealing with. Cindy, hello everyone. I'm in the pool with the sun in my eyes. I will try not to be jealous, but I will fail. Hey, sweetie, I hope you're having a lovely afternoon.
Well, again, it's interesting to me to tie how some of this works together. We've seen the accountability or lack thereof of it all that's happening elsewhere. We've seen the whole little meltdown with Perp and her crew. That's happening. That's glorious. Carry on with your bad self there, Purple. Um, but the fact that certain people don't see the writing on the wall for what is in their imminent future is a sad thing to me, because Purple, really the person that you should be considering right now is Brandy. It should be her. You are dragging her into a world of chaos because of your unfortunate opinions. Look at how Gannon Stokes' family are having to handle this. Listen to the very words that come out of Brandy's mouth when she appeals to people to do better and be less vile. You're going against every single word she says, every single one of them. That's what I mean by the writing on the wall. It's unfortunate and it makes me sick. I really wish people would take a slightly wider view of certain things, because how certain people are handling the tiny amount of focus that they have right now does not bode well. Just wait, Purple, until your good friends are being dragged, and I do not mean Brandy, but the other ones who've done a whole lot of other chaos in another case. Wait until they're being dragged through the YouTube streets. You going to stand up for them then? Are you? That'll be interesting, right? You think people aren't going to wonder how they got to where they are now? I love that for you. Carry on with your bad self. But as for Brandy and her family, just the same as Gannon Stokes' family, I think most people, no matter your opinion on the case details, just wish peace for these people, to find answers, to find resolution, and to be able to move on. Whatever this is a very unhealthy situation over here. Thank you very much for attending my TED Talk. I appreciate you.
I couldn't agree with you more. I genuinely couldn't, which is, I was just leaving it hanging there because I wanted that, didn't immediately want to jump on the end of it. I think that's very true. And there are some people on the periphery of this whole situation who are very quick to make both specific and non-specific threats against people. You think that you fly under the anonymity of being in a small sector of YouTube. True crime has suddenly stepped into a spotlight of negativity with the tabloid interest that I would be very wary of getting sucked into, because they're going to be looking now for some other new story or angle. You know, when they start looking into an area, they don't just concentrate on one thing. It's always a knock-on effect of what else can they, once they see that their attention is coming to the page, they will try and find another story or another angle on the same story.
Yeah.
True crime could very much be in the spotlight of some incredibly negative forces. People are used to speculating about the victims and the suspects of true crime and saying pretty much whatever they want. This could come back to bite them quite spectacularly. Hi, Pollyanna. Welcome to the live chat.
Hey. But yeah, it's wild to me how this carries on. There are certain people in the sector, and again, whether you agree with the small amount of opinion or the pointed questions that Eve has made or not, I think if you are in any way engaged in true crime as a sector or in any form of investigation, it doesn't need to be true crime. If you are just an inquisitive person, you know me, I always have questions, yo. Whenever Eve has framed her questions, she has been extremely careful. So that's why it was very odd to me that this situation has been set up to almost bait Eve into making an unfortunate statement. I'm glad that she has sidestepped that and went on about her business, because there is nothing good to come out of that tiny peen coloring area of YouTube. It's just not good for anybody. Although I love the fact that Heidi went deathly quiet yesterday. Hey, Heidi, hey! But for the rest of us, you should have questions. You should have questions. If you want to seriously consider the location of someone who's missing, you're meant to have questions. You don't have to be nasty about them, but you're meant to have questions. That's where there's a difference. Compare that to other creators, especially much bigger ones who would hand Purple her Cheez-It covered butt cheeks on a platter. I love that for you, Purple. I love it. Keep going. Keep going. None of what you've done here has gone very well for you. The more you keep showing yourself for who you are, there's nothing anybody can do to stop that, encourage it, nothing. You are who you are. Own it. Everybody sees you. Hey, stars, hey!
I'd also like to make a comment about something that was said in that chat. JBT is a disabled veteran, honourably discharged due to disability, still works on the base. JBT is in no way a shame to the Marines. There is no reason why the Marines would be ashamed of his behaviour. Most people could dream of having an upstanding member of the family like JBT in their family. If you make comments like that, you're not only spiteful, you are deluded. I will stand by that completely.
I absolutely agree. And again, they're just trying to bait the conversation into look over here, don't look at us. And that's adorable and everything. But do not make any mistake that JBT's kindness and his restraint in stating what he thinks a lot of the time, when he could go the whole way in and just leave you in bits on the
Absolutely.
sidewalk It's both adorable and frightening in its ways that you do not see that, but just because he won't, others will. And
Oh,
you
yeah.
have
I think
owned
that,
yourselves. All
yeah.
that racist stuff, all of the vile comments you made about a pregnant woman, all because you don't like her opinions, you want to wish physical harm on her. Miss us. Miss all of us. Miss the entire sector and the rest of humanity with your crazy ass bullshit.
Yeah, anybody who mistakes JBT's kindness for weakness is a bigger fool than I thought they were.
Taylor will not accept it. Taylor is taking this as a personal slight, yo. Writing songs as we speak.
Hey, Chris. I thought for one moment I had a comment in the replies to Chris's video from somebody who actually legitimately thought that I was making a dig at Chris rather than the fact that Chris and I are both in on the joke. Chris's son is with her, as is Chris's car. It's not a one or the other deal. That's what we're making fun of. But the comment sort of was edited up by, I think, somebody, the joke dawned on them, thank goodness, at some stage through the video. I thought I was going to have to explain.
Sometimes you wonder, I mean, paint by numbers isn't enough really most of the time. We literally need some sort of Coco Melon version of here's what happened. Oh my
Sorry, you
goodness.
said paint by numbers. I was confused. Hang on, let me just change that.
Can anybody spot a Tootsie Roll in that image? Just curious. Just curious.
I have a question for people who know AB's background. I say background situation. I'm not talking about his family or his private life. I'm actually talking about the background behind him when he broadcasts. It used to be that you could see windows and a lantern. Was that actually his room or was it some sort of screen? Because I really miss that. He's got some sort of backdrop now that's like a sheet or something. I don't know what it is, but I miss his old one because, let me put this up. His old backdrop looked like a pirate ship. Now, I don't know whether that was actually his room or some sort of or some sort of backdrop. But the minute that I saw it, the pirate headdress and a parrot.
I love it.
Which is the only thing changed on that image. Everything else is actually as AB broadcast. So if you know whether it was backdrop or whether that's actually his interior decor choices, I'm fascinated.
I would like to confirm, after floating around YouTube's for over a decade, that that is entirely AB's living situation. He lives on a pirate ship. That's how that works. He lives on a pirate ship. He sails the high seas. He broadcasts from there. It's like Radio Caroline, but with YouTube. He does all the things. I love this. I love this whole image. I'm here for it.
Well, I want him to bring back the old pirate ship backdrop. And if he can throw in a sort of a headdress and an inflatable parrot, I will cash up him without any problem whatsoever.
What in the Taika Waititi is even happening?
Speaking of AB, I need to ask the question that we were asking the other night. Karen Massey, are you out there? Does anybody know Karen Massey?
Oh, yeah. Oh, tell us about Karen Massey.
Did you see the little video about Karen Massey?
Yes, but I think some of the class might need a catch up.
Right. Shall I just quickly play it? Because it's only a couple of minutes and it sort of explains all rather than... Let me explain Karen Massey to you because I am fascinated. Is Karen Massey a real person, or is AB's theory, the Karen Massey conspiracy, actually true? Hum amongst yourselves while I flail around in the background looking for the thing that I'm trying to hit on.
Please hold. Your view is very important to us. Our technical department is having some minor issue.
Hold on. Let me pull this up. So this, to explain this a little bit on screen, that's the point where Karen Massey was going to find my address. So if you're at my community page, you'll see this right here, a communication. She was looking for an address, and Dougie's request, let's say. Who's Karen Massey? Who knows? Just some name in his chat. Probably Doug Hutton. Karen Massey is probably Doug Hutton. Okay, probably a sock account. He's got 2 or 3 phones going with different accounts at one time. All right, but he loves to make it look like that he's talking to somebody in his chat. There's only 79 people in there. Nobody seems to know this Karen Massey, but it gives him an excuse to start talking about something or somebody, right? A little back and forth. He does the same thing on his phone with Grandpa. That's just an audio clip that he responds to in real time. Anyway, really got to get the full effect, because there he is over there, right? What about 30% of your screen is the Cash App? 30% of your mobile screen is going to be his Cash App and PayPal QR codes, so you can more easily send him donations. Wait till he starts actually physically begging for your donations. People, I'd just like to remind you, I need $15 to my PayPal and $15 to my No Thanks Investigates Cash App right away, please, just to make sure that they're working. Okay? And that's what he's asking this Karen Massey in his chat to do, which is actually Doug Hutton's other fucking account. So he's probably got this Crime and Justice, this Lisa, just as hoodwinked, right? Thinking that this Karen Massey is such a real person. And she's like, well, if this Karen Massey is so sold on Doug, so am I. That's the level of intelligence that we're talking about when we talk about this Lisa partner of his, this Crime and Justice. She's intellectually challenged. Dougie has his other accounts active in his own Kick live chat to kick things up a little bit. This is a well-known trick that Doug's always done. He's a master at this. He's got all 3 phones working right now on all 3 accounts. He's got all of his accounts in his live chat. Move this over a little bit. And he uses the people in the live chat, answers the question that he types through it. And that's where he gets his talking points from. And it all is going to be around, like, for example, he tells here's the main one, the main reason. He can tell his sock account that's in his own live chat to donate $15 to each one of those each one of those links to make sure that they're working. He talks in a way to his subscriber that you've never heard of before, in a way that you would never ask for a donation in that sense, right? That's a great indicator that he's in there doing that at this point in time. And for on his debut, his first one, his maiden voyage here on Kick, you can well bet that he's busy making a show out of it in his chat. And he's got Crime and Justice in there as well, who doesn't know he has these sock accounts. I'll tell you that much right now. Why would she? That would be a liability to his grift. You can't let her in on that. She's got to believe, and she's a true believer in anything that he says. Do you notice? Well, everything he says, including all the deceit, the things that she's being deceived about.
Karen Massey, if you're out there, give us a wave. If you know Karen Massey, and by which I mean you've spoken to Karen Massey, not just seen her in the chat, I'd be fascinated because I think AB is spot on here. Now, Stars, you think it's a long grift? Yeah, most the good grifts usually are. TJ, hello, darling. Eliza, we managed to work the intro.
No,
Hey, everybody.
I popped in briefly at 10 minutes after going, oh no, but then I saw you guys were live and I'm like, okay, they've got this.
We
I
warned
saw
them. We said, learn a driver at the wheel. Don't know what all the pedals do. Not particularly got a good grip on the wheel, but come with us. Let's see how this goes.
Yay.
And so far, touch wood, we seem to be okay.
See, that's
Roxy
what they
was in
call
the
baptism
chat.
by fire.
It was a baptism by fire. It was that learning to swim by mom and dad throwing you in the water. Eliza and Tanga, as mom and dad of the jerks, decided to just kick us off the pier and see what happened.
I'm so sorry.
No, darling,
I just
you've got
had
every
stuff I
reason.
had to do.
We've got to learn. We've got to learn. And to be honest, I am far less intimidated now. I know that it might take me a minute, but I can pretty much find the buttons anyway.
I knew you'd figure it out. I just had really intended to be here at 9 to help you all out. And, I'm sorry. I apologize.
No, don't apologise. So Roxy was here earlier and we played her advert. It seemed to go down well. She sort of had mixed feelings. She both found it funny and also was like, oh no, the shame. But yeah, that went quite well.
Hi, TJ. Hi, Eliza.
Hey, ladies. I'm on lunch. I'm just doing errands, so I'm driving. So
Be careful.
I'll be back to the office in just a minute.
Meg, are you just catching up with us and you're talking about Zav Girl, or are you talking about somebody else? I'm just intrigued. Pure nosiness.
I may or may not have sent somebody a text to make sure Foxy knew to be here today.
Soup, have you seen the dog advert?
Uh-oh.
Is that Eliza?
I don't believe I'm echoing.
No, you're not echoing, darling, but you did suddenly go really, really quiet.
Oh, that was somebody else. I heard myself say something I had said minutes ago.
Yeah, I did too.
I think that was me. I grabbed the phone. I will hold my hands up. Sorry, I hit a button and then I
Shame
panicked.
on you,
I was
Lee.
like, oh
Shame on
my
you.
goodness.
Wee!
Hi, Jessie.
Look, just be grateful you didn't
Thanks
hear
for
all the
joining
words.
us. Have a good
Grateful.
evening meal. And hope to see you again next time. It was great having you.
Come back, Spedler.
And thank you for being one of the people from the UK who actually contacted Patreon and said that what was going on was definitely illegal in several countries. I really appreciate that.
Soup once said the what? Did you see the
dog
grooming
advert?
commercial? Maybe we should play it again just in case Soup didn't see it.
What?
Plus, I didn't get to see it.
Let's just play it again. Are you going to hit it or shall I?
I'll hit it. Give me a second. I'll find it. Oh, there it is. sad
was so
music is
good.
what killed me. Is that?
Yes. Public service announcements are always a bit like that, aren't they? They're deadly
Yep.
serious.
Really tug on your heartstrings. Makes you tear up a little.
Hey, Queen OG, good to see you in the chat. I hope you're well.
Hey, cornbread. Hey.
Hey,
Hey, everybody.
cornbread. Hey, Queen OG.
It's the point where the public service
Super.
announcement says not all skills are transferable. I still lose my
I was
entire
waiting for that
mind.
too.
Perfect. Perfect.
And I almost was going to ask you, did you ask Unseen to do the voice? Because at first I was like scared. I thought, you asked
God.
Unseen? I was like, oh my gosh. It almost sounded like her.
Perhaps that's what we need next. Das House's dog gym,
Dog training.
dog training
that would
department.
be good. That would be so good.
Hey, Mad Feathers.
Hey, Mad Feathers, I hope your mum is doing well. I do remember that you were saying that she had to make some decisions about the personal health of a dear friend. I
Yeah.
hope that she's doing okay. Widow.
Right, widow.
I think we can see the way the chap
No, we
feels about
promise.
this.
We promise we won't do that.
It was a joke, guys. Just a joke. Don't worry.
Just a joke. Just a joke. I mean, it freaked me out at first because I was like, oh my gosh.
I like the vibe of the background.
Right, there was even a tiny flag. There was,
It was good. It was so
Oh no,
good.
I meant our background on.
Yeah,
our
Bugsy,
background.
Bugsy
Oh.
asked about it, and so I went back into where you dropped
I
the
love
graphic
it.
and downloaded it and put it up because Bugsy was particularly keen on it. So
I am. It's summary.
Can
It
I
is
have
summary.
those?
it is.
Can I have those pink flip flops?
No, those are mine. I already put my.
What?
I already licked them.
Okay.
Well,
oh my, what are you doing?
Okay.
Licking the flip flops, woman?
that's
Stop
weird.
that.
Damn, Julie.
Mom-
And they probably had sand on them too. Okay, I'll take the purple one.
Ew.
Mine
you
have
can
to be
have the purple.
either the yellow ones or the blue ones because they got really tiny feet.
I'll take the. Well, I have little feet too, but I like the purple ones.
Yay, Soup's here.
Soup.
Well, she was, but
Oh,
Yeah, the blue ones are really
She-
pretty.
I can't believe Julie took my pink flip flops.
Yes, Mad Feathers, I did see your reply saying that he'd
I'll
passed.
trade you.
And I was
Take the
just
blue
saying that
ones.
I
But
was
you
thinking
licked
of
them.
your mom, and I hope she's well.
That's true.
I
See,
hope,
that's
I hope they had sand on them.
this is always what we do with my grandkids. They will lick something and then try to give it to me because I say, "Give that back," and I'm like, no. They're so gross sometimes.
Don't you pass that off on the grandkids.
What
We
the-
all now know that
I
no matter
know,
what we
right?
all have thought,
I made them ornery.
it's not we that's the dirty one. It's that Bugsy jerk. Look at her. Look at what she's doing. She's licking all the things.
It's mine.
Ooh.
Nobody will touch it that way. No, but if I have chocolate around and say I hide it, she'll sniff it out. I mean, she's like, she just has a really good little sniffer. She's my little. Or she'll come in and she'll say, okay, where is it? You look at that little face and you can't say no.
Oh, they always know. They're just like, we know you've got it. We know you haven't.
now or else.
It's only a matter of time until I wear you down with my little.
It doesn't take much for them to wear me down. Oh.
We were teased with the presence of Soup, and then Soup was gone.
And now she's back.
No, she's not.
Oh.
Where?
Well, my boo-boo. Sorry.
She's kidding us. I don't know what she's teasing us. I keep seeing her pop up back there and then disappear real quick before you can get her in there.
Elusively out of reach, just like my hopes and dreams.
Sometimes it takes a minute, so when I first pop up, for me to be able to try to hear. I'll come up and everything will be sound quiet, and then it'll finally pop the sound up for me.
Widow, if I did that, then I'd forget where they were.
I guarantee that if you hide something between the bed and the box springs and you've got a dog,
Oh my
your dog will
gosh.
find it.
Yes.
I had a friend, we were in conversation, and she said that she bought herself a special piece of steak that night, and she cooked it. And as she was trying to serve it out of the pan onto the plate,
no.
she managed to overskip the plate and it hit the floor. And so she was having poached eggs. And I said, flipping heck, I would have just picked it up and rinsed it off. 5-second rule.
No.
And she said, 5-second rule doesn't work when you've got a 3-second dog.
This
Right.
is true.
They're like little ninjas.
I got my husband a sub sandwich the other day. He sits down with it in the chair, gets it on his plate. All of a sudden, Cooper jumps up there, takes the top bun. It was so fast. And I said, well, at least you got the rest of the sandwich. He's trying to help you with your diet. So.
He's just made your sandwich low carb.
Right?
It's that sort of 50-50 situation of you're like, look, I love you and you love me, but please, I know that you're just waiting for me to either trip or drop this or just remove my gaze for even a mere second. Don't try me today.
He's a counter surfer. He's bad. He's so bad.
There was one terrible moment there, when I thought you were going to break into that Barney song.
Uh-oh.
There's a story I can tell you about that, but we'll save it for later. Yay!
Oh, now I'm interested.
Oh, I'm sorry. A sub sandwich, a submarine sandwich. Am I saying that right? Did I say that right? My daughter's laughing at me.
Yeah, some people call them hoagies.
Sub sandwich, not a submarine sandwich. Now she's really scolding me. She's like, oh my gosh, you didn't say that.
It's like
really
a long
good
bun, but made of a bread type substance. There are sandwich shops who specifically deal in the making of these long sandwiches. They're just a handy little portable snack that are adorable.
Yes,
they fit all
hoagie.
the things in. You would enjoy it. Sponsored by Subs. Hey!
Just
I
like
nearly
when I
said that crispy
talked
treat, I
about
had to stop myself.
Long Johns, people are like, what are you talking about? What's a Long John? And I'm like, it's a long donut. They're so good.
Did somebody say sponsored by?
Pearl's getting good with the buttons back there now.
I'll just never look at cheese balls again the right way. No, just can't.
Speak for yourself.
Long Johns. Oh, yeah, those two.
This brings a
but,
whole
you
new
know.
meaning to edible underwear.
Oh, geez, let's not go there. Oh. So, what do you call them, widow? Do you just call them hoagies? Yeah, we has a dirty mind. You're right.
I'm not
She's
very
proud
good
of
at
it.
licking things. I'm not
She
licking
is. I
things.
love her.
I know to keep my tongue to myself. Hey? Just saying.
That is so
I
right.
suspect she's lying. I bet she licks some things.
Oh, I've licked things, but still.
Mhm.
Right, crispy treat. Funny you should say that. That fits in with all of the things.
Crispy treat. Oh my gosh. That makes me think of Perp's Abacus.
Oh, God lover. Does anybody?
Oh.
I pray to you.
Yes.
Oh Lord. Not the baby elephants.
6 or 12.
I had somebody ask me if they were elephants. I was like, oh dear Lord. How do I break this to them? That no, that is not that.
That's what she said.
Oh dear.
Oh boy.
To tie in with that, the lovely Six Up made a tiny short video. It's only short of a certain person who apparently needed her little abacus this morning, and a reality check, a strong coffee, a good shake. I don't know any of the things.
The time travelling perp.
Oh God, love her.
I'm just wondering how to explain it to people who didn't see. If any of you girls can give that a go, that would be great.
Oh, we
Aw.
were talking about some unfortunate things that had been said recently on Purples at the amazing JBT channel. If you have not already subbed up and done all the YouTubey things, make that happen today. But his amazing mother, Six Up Media, had caught a little snippet of a reaction from Purple. This reaction had been elicited because I made a comment about how Purple hadn't had an original thought since 1987. Purple took that and made that into a whole different thing.
She's probably talking about when she was born and all that, right?
Oh. The tone.
Oh gosh.
It's a lot. It's a gift. Whenever I saw that Six Up, it was just like Six Up made my day. I had no idea what was going on in the world until that moment. So that was I was very happy with the situation.
Well,
It was one of those
I was
moments when you hear something said and you think, no, I must have heard that wrong. That couldn't
Right?
possibly be what I just thought she said.
You're like, no, that's it. And Six Up even does the most enjoyable pathos of situation where she clips it and repeats it because she's like, no, just in case you weren't sure, here we go. You're going to hear it again, and you're going to hear it again. We don't even need words. We don't even need to explain it. She just said the thing. That's all you need to know.
stands on its own.
Oh, but it made my wee heart so happy. Ah, dear. It was just beautiful. Beautiful. Oh,
I gather that Voices has just said that, well, not just said, but at some stage during the afternoon, has said that Six Up is in the process of making life miserable for victims because she's got a hard on for purple. Voices, sometimes people just do commentary on the facts. There's no need to make it into something that it isn't. I would think, as somebody who's over Queen Bees so often, where Six Up is a mod, you would have some understanding of Six's integrity.
oh, not anymore. She broke up with everyone. She broke
Oh,
up
has
with
she?
everyone. Yep.
See,
Yep.
there's always something that you miss on these streets. So she's not with
Do
Queen Bee
tell.
anymore.
Yep. I choose those words very purposefully. She broke up with people in a whole situation that unfolded on the channel Crimes and Fashion. They were discussing the same topic that we've all been discussing, the Zav girl and the photos situation. And in a Heidi-esque manner, it became very personal and very off topic very quickly, and therefore Voices uttered the words that she was breaking up with not just one panelist, but all of them. Anyone? In her words, now, I don't disagree with her sentiment, but her choice of wording and venue to air this publicly was maybe very unfortunate. But again, I've seen it before. Voices, hey.
Mm-hmm.
I love that you've settled back over at Purples again.
So
Suits
she
you,
went
darling.
there because she was YouTube homeless again.
Well, yeah.
I was wondering because I hadn't
yeah.
seen her over there for quite a while. She hadn't been there much for a little while
Right.
before she was over on Queen Bee so much. She was on the panel quite a bit over at Purples, and then she just kind of went away. But now that explains a lot.
Yeah. She broke up with him. Couldn't even bear to speak with anyone who had seen it. It didn't matter what their opinion was of the situation. That's the part at which we deviate, because it's unfortunate that the very people that she was talking to have been kind to her since, much kinder than she has received before. I will say that. And that's where it's a bit sad, a bit Heidi-esque, and the fact that you have turned this into a whole different thing. So I love the fact that she's over in Purples again. It was just like, oh, right. Hello, Cosmos. I see you. I see you. I see what's happening here. So yes, that's where she is now. She's back over at Purples. It's adorable.
I can't say I'm surprised. That's kind of where they go when they lose their spots.
Oh, so that it's very possible then that her harsh opinion of Six is motivated by a little more than her feelings on Six's commentary.
I would say so, yes. I would say almost that the unfortunate timing of said opinion has a whole lot to do with making some new friends and pooping on some old friends. Again, we've seen anybody who's been around for a hot minute on these streets has seen this all unfold before. It's not a new thing. And I'm sorry, Voices, you're making another rod for your own back, love. I'm sorry.
It's
That's
funny how this seems to happen to a few panel people that like to go from panel to panel quite a bit and sort of overstay their welcomes. This seems to happen where they just fall out with creator after creator after creator. That's But is it the creator's problem then? You know, it may just have something to do with that particular person.
Well, I think that sometimes there's a time and a place for all things. I think, unfortunately, certain people repeatedly forget that on a panel, whenever you're at your most heated, is not the time to be expressing certain things. And trust me, Voices left that panel on crimes and fashion in the most dramatic fashion. Quite the flounce. It was, I mean, I could literally hear a snap on the way out of the panel. It was a whole thing.
How recent was this? How far back do I have to go?
Oh, I'll grab you the link. I'll grab you the link.
Excellent. I need to catch up with that. Just out of interest, what was her stance on the whole Zav girl situation?
Voices stance?
Yeah.
In that, just that it was, to condense the thing, that it was repugnant, but not purely because of the Stoke family and the horror that has already been inflicted upon them. That's why I keep drawing this comparison. Voices tied it to the fact that, well, do you want to see my sister's autopsy photos? No one had ever said anything like that. No one had. No one had brought it there. No one had even made a sideways comment, a sideways dig, nothing. It was completely raw to an extent, but she wanted to flex her personal situation on others. And that's where it was a bit sad, because it took the limelight of the discussion away from the very people that she would like to help and made it into a thing about her, which is sad. I don't think she wanted that, but that's how it ended up.
It's quite intriguing, because you probably know that amongst our number of the jerks, there's somebody who's also been in a situation with a close family member that is similar to this. And the only thing that she said in passing on this subject was, I've got a similar situation. And if it was me, that she'd want to tear the world apart, and that was the limit of it. There was no focusing on herself because she's not that kind of person. There are quite a few people within the true crime community who have an association, closer or more distant, with a friend or family member who has lost their life at the hands of somebody else. So this is not a unique situation. And I can understand it being very upsetting, but I do think it's a bit graceless to let your own emotions override the discussion of it. Because, yeah, in the bigger scheme of things, it's something that hits home to you. But this is a specific tragedy for the Stoke family, and it seems to be taking away or diminishing somehow their pain in this specific moment from this specific person if you try to make it about something else.
I agree wholeheartedly. Exactly that.
Right. Joy is correct also that she was trying to. Unfortunately, words failed her. I think she was deep in her passion or her desire to make her opinion the prime one, forgetting that other people could also view a thing without it being a titillating experience. Because sometimes you have to understand what you're talking about. Would I choose to do it? No. But I understand the thought process that had happened there. It stopped other people gaining access to that if someone was able to explain what was actually shown. Voices felt some type of way about that.
It's
But
a really
her,
difficult
it was
situation
sad.
because if somebody didn't actually check out what this was that was being offered for the money, if somebody in the realm of commentary did not check out the facts, how could you'd be talking in conjecture? You wouldn't know what the actual facts were. Now, it's awful that they paid the money and they saw these pictures, but let's not take the blame away from where it lies, which is the person who put this stuff up. The reason it needed to be discussed is because it was put up behind a paywall.
Right.
Eventually, in order for commentary to be factual and specific, some poor mug was going to have to look to see what was actually going on. It is understandable that she feels that no one should look at them. But it's also understandable that somebody had to, once this situation was created, and to sort of take it as to be insulted by somebody checking out the specific facts of a case might possibly be understandable, but it's not logical. You can't say you think this is what the case is. You'd heard somebody said that. You're just making a fool out of yourself in that case. You can't criticise accurately what you don't know.
Right. And to compare the two situations, because they do dovetail now very directly, it's exactly the same point that Purple had forgotten whenever she started giving her opinion on Eve and her presentation of Michael Vaughan's case. She has repeatedly stated she has not watched. She hasn't, and yet she wants to misrepresent. I use that word deliberately because you cannot be factual, you cannot be truthful, you cannot give your honest opinion. I would have some empathy towards Purple if she watched it and said, I just disagree with what you have said. But that's not where we are. She just wants to attack this woman. That's the situation we find it in. The goalpost of fact finding for victims in a case, whether they are the actual prime victim or those that have been affected by this loss and tragedy, is completely lost on some personal sideways nonsense. That's what we see unfolding, just like Voices and her little drama flip out of Crimes and Fashion. Purple's doing the same thing with Eve, except her chat are wishing harm on a pregnant woman. So, love that for you. You show who you are when you do that. I don't care what your opinion is. When you can state something like that, it shows you do not have any truth in your argument. I'm sorry that upsets Purple and her crew, but that's where we are.
I wanted to go back to this comment from Crispy Trait. I think it's crazy that people are mad that Zavgirl wants to apologise. I mean, I think it's appropriate for her to apologise. What else can the girl do? I do take your point, and I do think she should apologise. What concerns me is how long it has taken her to get to the position where she thinks she should apologise. It also feels... I feel a sense of manipulation in the way that she wants to reach out to Gannon's mom. Again, feels like a please don't sue me move, or a way of trying to use them as a shield. Sort of, well, I've apologised to them and they accepted my apology, and therefore, and they do. They deserve all the apologies in the world. But the problem is, your apology is essentially meaningless because you can't put the toothpaste back in the tube. Those images are everywhere now. They're all over Reddit. Other videos will be made. They will be bouncing back and forwards for years, possibly decades to come. And you just made a situation where I believe that Al is expecting a child with his new partner. At some stage, that kid's going to be on the internet. And there's a fair chance that one of the first images that they'll come across when they try to do any Googling of their own name or their parents, as people often do, will be these images. They won't be the first images of Gannon that they'll see, because no doubt Al will want to keep Gannon's presence in their lives as much as possible. But you can't take away what's been done. Zavgirl didn't learn anything from the way she toyed with Kylie Rodney's case and the things that she allowed to be said on her channel, making out that Kylie Rodney was not a real person. The most bizarre conspiracy theories. It's almost as if she forgets that true crime is based on true people, real people with real suffering in the real world, that they're not just interesting stories. It's not The Sims.
Yeah.
My whole problem with what Zav Girl did, well, there's a lot of whole problems actually with what she did with the Kylie Rodney case, but she actually put a lot of teenagers under suspicion. She was publishing their vehicles and allowing all this stuff to go on about minors. They were minors. And all the suspicion and all the stuff that came at them, and she has such, at that time, her subscriber numbers were huge. She had huge chats going on, and all this going on, and all this coming towards some kids that are still trying to figure out life. Also, that lost a friend. I don't know. I had a big problem with all that conspiracy theories being thrown around about that young girl's case when it turns out to be, as I had suspected anyway, just a really tragic accident.
Well,
There
it
was a
in
way
all
in
the
which
cases.
power and fame fed into that. Because let's be realistic here. Do you honestly think the whole not a real person GoFundMe conspiracy would have had a moment of legs, for want of a better
Without
term,
Ryan Upchurch?
without Ryan Upchurch?
Right.
The fact that it was coming from Ryan Upchurch was the reason that it was taken up by so many channels, just from the actual public interest aspect of here's a famous person with an opinion on a true crime case. And it was given far more attention and taken far more seriously than if it was just, Joe Schmo trotting it out on his channel with 180 subscribers.
Right.
And I'm with you. The people who think that, she could have just offered an apology, or she deserves the grace to offer an apology. I think a lot of people would have felt that in a more genuine fashion had it happened in a timely manner, when it was a subject of discussion before it hit the news, way before that. But then also, to add insult to injury, if you are a person who can manage the wherewithal to fill in a FOIA request, and I mean that with all the intent that I'm saying it, you should not need to make a community post in the most half-hearted, uncaring, well, I think this is what I should do, but maybe you could do the work for me manner, and ask other people for a victim's mother's contact information. I think that's the part at which I lose my sympathy for her, and I choose that word very deliberately also. Do better. Don't do that. That's sloppy. Even if you meant it, there is a way for you to have found that information with outdoing that.
Shifting responsibility, and maybe she should take some of what Benny Keys has been talking a lot about. I mean, accountability. I'm gonna say it.
Yeah.
She's
Accountability,
managed to
Zavril.
fumble the bag
Accountability.
twice. She had an opportunity on a community tab to try and make a good fist of apologising and explaining herself. I don't believe there's an explanation, but she could have done.
Yeah.
And then she had the opportunity to go on national news with somebody who's possibly one of the most reasonable true crime reporters. You know, we're not talking about Nancy Grace here shouting in her face. We're talking about Brian Enton, who's probably one of the most mild-mannered and reasonable news presenters in this type of situation. And she didn't take up that opportunity. And now she's woken up this morning. She's all over the UK tabloids. Good luck with that.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, I really felt like when people were asking whether they thought she'd go up there or not, I felt like she wouldn't, but I really felt like she should. She should have taken that opportunity. She would have been able to, look the camera in the eye and speak directly to his family, because they watched. That would have been her opportunity to own it, take accountability for it, and all of that. And she chose not to go that route, but to then come around and then tell other people, oh, look, do the work for me, get this. No. Cindy, love you too, honey. Mean it. Heart, heart, heart.
I think there's a lot that can be done with an apology. We learn that as toddlers. We're meant to be taught that as little children.
Apologies that are actually real apologies. You
Yeah.
have to mean it. You have to mean, like, own what you're apologizing for, and then make a genuine effort to do better. Otherwise, I mean, people apologize all the time. I hear them, I said I was sorry. I've heard people take apologies back. I mean, that's not, you
Right.
never meant it. If you can take it back, you never meant it. Um, you know, apologies only mean something if it also means that there's something behind the apology that you plan on changing. It's my opinion on it.
Exactly. Sincerity means a whole lot. It doesn't need to be long-winded. It doesn't need to be, you don't need to beat yourself in sackcloth and ashes through the streets. It could be short, simple, and plain. And that's all that would have been needed. Would it stop the fact that the images were out there? No, it won't.
Mm-mm.
But it would simply show that there is some sort of self-reflection going on. I think a lot can be done there. A lot can be done.
Right. I feel like, don't apologize because you're worried about what's going to happen to your channel. Apologize because you have now come to hear and listen to another point of view, and now understand that, and understand where people are coming from, and how what you did has hurt them. You have to come from that point to apologize. If you're just apologizing because you got in trouble, so to speak, it's not going to be sincere. That's the way I feel about it. Is sometimes people only apologize because they caught heat, instead of the fact that they realize that they had a big error in judgment and intend to do better.
And it's not about beating her around the head either. Everybody makes mistakes. There are some people in this sector who've made chronic mistakes. People in life make mistakes all day, every day. This is not a new situation. sometimes you just have to hold your hands up and go, I messed up.
Right.
That's it. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. It's that simple.
I think people just really don't get it. I listened to, what Ziggy had to say about it last night. We talked about that, and I think Ziggy would have fell into the same thing had she thought of it, but now
Right.
won't because she's like, oh, whoa, that'll really make people mad. But she was talking about how famous that girl was. I mean, just missing the entire point.
Oh, talking of which, let me throw this out here. It's completely off topic, but trust me, it's very pointed and very important. Crystal's Crime Time. You're searching for people with answers on who had communication with who. Ziggy is one of the people you need to talk to. Levid is one of the people you need to talk to. Trixie is one of the people you need to talk to. Instead of hunting subs who support people on day by day on YouTube, go for the people who do have the contact that you search for, the answers that you want. It's strange to me that you're missing that by creating what can only be described as a shit show at the moment. Please go look for them. They're not hard to find. You're welcome. Thank you for attending my TED Talk. You're welcome.
And yes, Cindy, I love it. She's asking me if I liked her profile picture.
It is a beautiful picture.
It is lovely.
Sorry, I got confused at first because when I saw Cindy, I was thinking of the other one because it wasn't the same picture. So my apologies, Cindy.
Yeah, that's our Cindy that we love.
Yeah, I love you, Cindy.
Hey, Kim. I could do what I want today because Soup, for some reason, is really having trouble getting up on panel today. So, hey, Kim. Hey, Kim. I'm going to get a few extras in there for the times that she stops me before I can.
Oh, Lord. I hold you responsible for this, Kim.
Hey, Kim, did you get to see the video of Winnie?
Can I answer a quick question? Eileen
Yes.
asked me a wee question, and I get where she's coming from because most people know my opinion. I don't go back into Purple's chat. I don't troll her. I don't go in the comments. I don't do that. There's plenty of other places for me to vent my opinion. I think the point for me, whether they realize it or not, there are two very unfortunate things here. Purple has repeatedly stated that her Mean Girls channel is very close to being monetized. I mean, she could monetize it. She could. Love that for you, Purple. It's still tied to your other channels. So when YouTube takes one, just like Doug and every other creator before them that has been kicked off, that will be you. That's one thing. But whenever I see someone speak, that wasn't a question and answer session they were having with Eve. It doesn't matter how close you have to be to somebody or not. And that's the point that will also be misrepresented. It shouldn't matter who it is, how tight you are with them. There should be limits. It was very clear to me what they were trying to do. They were literally trying to make fetch happen in the truest sense. I have watched this for over a year where Purple has spouted lies upon lies about someone that she hasn't even bothered to do the most basic homework on. That's a point that should not go unchecked. So the fact that she has kicked me off panel, if that makes her feel powerful, I'm happy for you, Purple. I am. Go with God, live your best life. I love it. I love that you think that people are crushed and broken by it. That's not me, honey. You can miss me with your shit. You can miss a whole lot of us with your shit. All you have done is shown yourself for who you are. Other people see you for who you are. That's all that performance has done. And you're digging down, just like Zavgirl. Instead of stopping where you started, you're continuing to dig down further. Keep going. So trust me, that's not a repeated performance. That was a one-off aberration. They can say what they like about me. Whatever. They choose to misrepresent everybody and everything. But the racist stuff, the threats from people who have their own criminal history of threatening people, very interesting to me. I don't think people understand that most of the time. So that's where my trigger point was. I was like, oh really? I see you. I see you. And it made Heidi shut the fuck up. I have to admit, I kept muting myself and laughing like a hyena.
I bet.
I want to be better at impressions. I needed Soup's voice to give it the, oh no, I'm not talking to her. Oh, there. That part was a welcome reprieve in the chaos.
Yeah. That was a hot mess.
Oh.
I don't know how you guys do it. You know, where you go up there and try to have a intelligent conversation with somebody that refuses to use intelligence. You try to explain, and it's like explaining something to a brick wall. They don't want to understand, and I haven't got the patience for that. You want to purposely misunderstand or purposely take this and decide that that's the key word out of the whole sentence and dissect that and miss the whole point of what was said. I don't know how you guys did it.
Souffle, what you did this morning, that was awesome. That was great. I loved it.
That's true, Pollyanna. She's saying it's impossible. They're unwilling to look at anything from any other point of view. And if you're unwilling to look at things from different points of view, you're unwilling to understand. You're not trying to understand. You are only trying to keep exactly your opinion and not trying to understand anybody else's point of view or why anybody else might share a differing opinion, and you're just never going to get anywhere like that.
Right, but the very people that you're having that conversation with aren't just the people on panel.
Right.
It's those in the audience, even those who may, I'm using myself as an example here. Hi, Heidi. Hey. Even those who may hate your entire existence, there are seeds of thought in other people's minds that you sow whenever you have that conversation. That's the part where there sometimes is merit to it. It's not just the people that you're talking to directly, it's those that hear it. Because if those people in that chat aren't having a moment of self reflection, thinking, hell, I have no idea what this woman has been saying for the past year, maybe I should go and check it out. I
They
think that
don't
would be a
though
good
in
place to
that
start.
they don't in that chat. Instead, they're talking about baseball bats and karma, and they're so worried about just like slinging insults. They're not listening to what is actually being said. Purple said something that really stuck with me, talking about, I didn't call her out. I'm responding. I haven't called her any names. Well, I kept looking at what the title of her live was. And it was something, calling Eve a witch.
And anybody who has listened to Purple's content, whether they have enjoyed it or not, whether they're like me and pick up certain things or they don't, there will be a moment of reckoning where it is unavoidable. I'm sorry that Purple doesn't understand the amount of times she has said disparaging things about Eve in her chat, all because she thinks in her mind, or she claims to be defending Brandy by doing that. All that you're doing, Purple, is creating a whole shitstorm, just like Mr. Accountability himself and the lack thereof. Oh, that's all you're doing. That's who you are now. You are the Benny Keys of Michael's case. Congratulations.
Right.
Yikes,
Yay!
but accurate.
Very. It's JBT's right. They listen to respond. They don't hear anything. When you do that, where you're listening, just trying to think about what you're going to say next, rather than hearing what they're actually saying and responding to that, you'll never get anywhere.
Also, sorry, darling, carry on.
Oh, I was just gonna say, she's also, every time, like you say, well, Purple, you have called her names or something. Give me the timestamps. No, girl, I'm not going back. You've done it so many times. That's not my responsibility to go back to remind you how vile you've been. They're your lives. They're your words. They came out of your mouth. You go find it. How do you not remember what you've said? Yeah, I guess you're like, oh, did I actually say it out loud? I mean, come on. You know you said it. People don't have to email you with a timestamp. Just telling people to email you? Why? Why do they have to email you? I wouldn't recommend people email you. If you email Purple, please do not do it without using a VPN.
Right.
She wants you to email her so she can discover who you are. It's not safe, guys. I'm just telling you, it's not safe. She has people connected with her that like to dig into that kind of stuff. Always use a VPN. And don't email them.
Right. It is possible to email people in a safe manner. It is possible to communicate with people, but you have to be clued in, because remember that not everyone has the same intentions. We've seen this happen with certain creators, in fact, a whole lot of them, over and over and over again, and Purple is just one of them. Right now, that's where our focus is, for obvious reasons. But how she treats her ex-friends, that shows you who she is. I know she wants to term it as other people sticking their nose in. But Purple, you're on a very public platform, and believe it or not, it's not just limited to America. I'm sorry that you don't understand that, darling, but anybody and everybody, whether they're subscribed to you or not, whether they want to wear glitter or not, can go in, take the information that you have shared, critique it, make fun of it. They can do whatever they want. You think you have met your worst nightmare in people like Eve? You have no idea the people that are going to come your way. Those people that are porn bombing you, I can guarantee you who it's not. But there's a reason why they're picking your channel. You make it easy for them. You do.
And you leave it up for hours and hours. That even gives them even more excitement, doesn't it?
Right?
Leave it there and leave it there. That's part of their game. See how long they can keep it up there. Played right into it.
I think there's some unfortunate business that goes on, and I'm sorry that Purple doesn't realize that there's a whole more nefarious sector on the internet as a whole. That critique is not your biggest problem. There are people who will never like what you have to say, how you said it, the words you used, anything. Those are not your biggest problem. There are people with direct malicious intent. And now the fact that your name is out and about in those places, that's a problem for you.
So
didn't
she
start
did
that.
yesterday. Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to talk over you.
Sorry, love. No, I was just saying we didn't start that. Because
She did yesterday, Soup.
Yes, she left it up, Soup, for literally hours afterwards. Had been told that it had happened. Maybe it was one of those times where she wandered off to have a conversation with the critter underneath the stairs. Who knows? But wherever she was, she sure as hell wasn't paying attention because other people had to tell her it was happening. Love that for you, Purple. Love it. Wake up.
There's a bald joke in there, dying to get out, but I'm not touching it with a barge pole.
No.
Nope, 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 nope. Oh, it's still up? Widow says it's still up. Oh, Breeze is saying it's still there. Dimple Duck also concurs.
Imagine wanting Michael's name to be attached to that. Imagine.
Yeah.
She, even in the most generous manner, even if she did not choose that to happen, even if she is shocked and appalled that it would happen, the first thing you would do is correct that. That should be if your intent is to protect his family and Michael's case from this disgusting behavior, as you want to term it, that should have been your first order of business, not starting a second live to have a go at Eve and then another live today. You know, where you just keep digging down, keep digging. And yes, you can report it. You know,
Violence, threats, hateful.
Inappropriate images are a thing.
Oh,
We've
that
talked
one too.
about.
Yes, absolutely. Sexual content is one of the top things you can report. I'm just saying.
Right?
If you happen to see it and are offended.
She goes on about how insignificant it was, which is accurate, on her iPhone. But on a large screen TV, I can tell you it is quite a large picture. And
Of a really
quite,
small thing.
admittedly a small thing, but quite a large picture. So for her to say that it's not a porn bomb is just ridiculous.
What? She said it's not a porn bomb?
I
Yeah,
mean,
because apparently it's such a close-up image. Now, I would have thought a close-up would have
What
made
the,
it substantial. Yes, I know.
the logic?
if you're using a macro lens, it doesn't matter.
It reminded me of the wonderful oxymoronic moment where Heidi said that the picture of her kitchen was clearly fuzzy.
Clearly fuzzy, yep.
Oh, it was fuzzy all right, and it wasn't just the image. You're welcome. Hey.
That was just the bread. I don't think there's a single person here, Jane, who doesn't think that Brandy's been through hell. But you have a problem in that where there is free speech, there are complicated feelings. And the more that you try to suppress people's free speech, the more contentious it becomes. I can see that there is difficulty on both sides in their response to what the other side is doing. And unfortunately, Brandy is the meat in the sandwich.
And before Purple takes that in a very unfortunate manner by saying that they called Brandy a piece of meat. No, listen, Purple. Lean in, Shug. Lean in. What Pearl is saying here, in the most descriptive and eloquent of terms, by describing a sandwich to you for you to understand, is the very important part in that whole bundle should be Brandy. You are the one, just like Benny, who is adding more insult to injury here. You are doing that. You are. Sorry, I had to color in the picture there for them because Lord, we don't have time. Sometimes you just have to.
Oh no, Jane, you were very clear. It wasn't a criticism of your point at all. I agree with you. I think that everybody can agree that Brandy's been through hell, and both of them could do with taking a step back. To be honest, it's not a
Right.
personal war between Perp and Eve. It should never get to that stage. It should be about the actual case. Michael Vaughan is still missing.
Correct.
Right.
Just like Summer, look at all the chaos we have watched for 2 years. I can barely imagine, no matter what you think of either set of parents, the turmoil that must go on either for parents or for the children in those families is horrific. Horrific. And for the very people that supposedly advocate for them, to behave in this manner should not be acceptable to anyone. It just shouldn't. But we let it slide. What? Because you're going to get up there, Benny, and make some quick ass video about how you don't get Thai. Love that for you. Love it. Keep on with your bad self. Nobody listens anymore to anything you have to say. You're a parody of your own self at this point. That's where Purple's headed.
Yeah, Benny looks like he's lost 50 pounds and his whole clue. If Abe Lincoln was a rapper, he would pretty much look exactly like Benny does at the moment.
I was
Except-
hoping when Benny got all that money that he would use some of it on buying a clue or something, but he chose not to.
No, he chose not to. He tried to buy a whole lot of other things, but that's a whole conversation for another time.
I know a clue would have been so much more profitable to him.
Right, Jesse? But
I'm
again,
sorry, I
that's
don't mean to
sad.
point fun, but I read that completely incorrectly, that they were coming for her handbags.
What in the KK is even happening? Not the handbag.
Yeah, Bridge, we did actually all reel back when we heard that yesterday, the roadkill comment. She seems to be oblivious to other people's feelings.
Yes, the way that these missing kids have been talked about by Ziggy and the things that she's tried to tie to them, and without any such evidence, but a tarot card that she reads poorly and some wire hangers. She has thrown out so much baloney. It's disgusting. I've got nothing for Ziggy. She's horrible. But for her to compare that to roadkill was appalling. It was just appalling. That she doesn't think before she speaks. There's no way she thinks. I don't know what she's doing when she's looking up at the ceiling, but it's not gathering the proper words. That's for sure.
Maybe she's waiting for a cheese delivery from another channel. Maybe she's hoping that that's where
They're tossing 'em.
inspiration lies.
I feel like she's waiting for the eventual thunderbolt that will come down from on high.
Maybe. Yeah. How about when Purple asked Eve about her qualifications and her certifications or her her, I think it was her qualifications. I can't remember the exact words that Purple used asking Eve. I mean, the audacity of her asking that Purple. What do you have to present?
A step further than that, when she said, "How did they take your training away from you?" Training is the thing you have, they can't just suck it out of you. Training is an ongoing thing. It's not like having a job at McDonald's where they show you the procedure once and you've got it down pat or patty. Pardon the pun. But in this sort of thing where you're talking about new technology and searches, because new technology happens all the time. Think about the way that drones have come into play. Training is an ongoing thing in many jobs. So it was just farcical the way she said, how have they taken your training away from you? They've taken away all her opportunities to further her training. It's not difficult to grasp that if you actually realise training is an ongoing thing. But the subtleties of the English language either totally pass Pert by, or I think she deliberately looks the other way. She's not immune to knowing what people are implying when they talk about baseball bats. We all know. Nobody was
They weren't going
insinuating.
to a little league game.
Exactly. They weren't going to get the baseball bat and actually show you a few of their best moves. They were intending to use it as a tenderizing item at best and a murder weapon at worst. Now, yeah, you can say to somebody who lives miles away and it's not really going to happen. But threats don't actually have to happen to be threats. The law is quite specific about threats and then has further charges for actually acting upon threats, it sees both as serious. One doesn't actually have to lead to the other for it to be a concern by the law. They're quite concerned with the nature of threats in themselves.
Right? That's where I was thinking exactly the same thing. For people who claim to have experienced that, for someone to make such a vile statement directly to you, either about your existence or your family members, to then wish that upon someone else, someone who you have not even a clue what they have said, what they have done, but just because you don't like the cut of their jib, that says everything about you and nothing about them.
What's a jib?
That's the part that people need to see. Well, God love Purple. She's going to take about 6 weeks trying to find that out. But the cut of someone's jib is an old sailing term. Hey, my hearties. Um, but it basically means in which direction you are headed. So on technical terms, what it means is like how they present themselves. That's sort of that analogy condensed down into the most basic terms that I can. Would the pirate specialist agree?
Yes, I would agree. I would agree. I'm still serious, AB. Bring back the old background or whichever room it was that you were actually in. Return to the pirate ship, please. Inflatable parrot in the post. Yes, stars. Brenda was an absolute disgrace yesterday. I cannot get my head around the rationale of why somebody who claims to identify as biracial would allow an aging woman in the chat to fling around versions of the N-word like she's a 21-year-old rapper from the West Side. You made a complete show of yourself.
And
Was
there's
she
no
drunk?
I possessed.
She just kept on and kept on with that.
I've been
something.
awaiting the "it was my blood sugar" moment
Oh, that must
all
be it.
day.
And it
That must
shouldn't
be it.
matter if it was the soft A or the ER version. It shouldn't matter.
Distinction
the
without
fact-
difference, as far as I'm concerned. You are not the
Right.
right shade of melanin to be throwing around either term.
Right. And then to be swiftly followed up by the original betrayer in the Summer Wells case to then do a whole live stream about racism. The irony was deep, yo, and yet it still misses these people. That's why the conversation is important. It's not just the people who are saying the words, it's the public in general. Those are the people that you need to connect with. It's easy to joke on people, easy to point fingers and laugh and do all the things, but there is a bigger discussion for someone who claims to have family who live on the plantation to do a live stream about racism. Oh, love that for you, Jenna. Love it.
I'm pretty sure that Soup's relatives don't live on the plantation.
Not a plantation. Nope.
Right, Crispy? Not the plantation.
Even in a moment of brain-bending word muddling like I had a week or so ago, I'm pretty sure that I would not have confused plantation with reservation.
Right.
You would hope. I mean, again, it wasn't even a one-off comment. It was something that was restated multiple times. for something that whenever you consider yourself to be a card-carrying member of the First Nations, to then be so clumsy with the very people who have fought that battle, who have lived that life, that should say it all, really. There's not really much else to add there. Nothing safe to say.
Breeze, you must have missed the news. The reason that Karen isn't around is she's currently deep in rehearsals for her one-woman show of Scarface, coming to dinner theatre near you this autumn.
Yep. Yep. Yeah.
Dangerous slurping of tea then when you decided to do the Karen routine.
Oh. Well, she's run off. I'm just gonna have to pick a new character.
Yeah, she gone now. She gone. She doesn't exist no more. She gone now.
I've got another one in mind anyway.
I'm hoping that we can convince to do Carl Enchanted Life Path.
For the next parody? We've
Yeah,
got
I
a
think it'd be
hell of a
fantastic.
parody planned.
Can you imagine?
Yeah, I can. It's going to be epic.
Just remember, if that ever happens.
Oh, it's happening. It's happening.
I'm not responsible. Those rules I'm sticking to.
We'll just... It's okay, we'll blame it on Tanga.
That'll do. The nuds made me do it.
We'll blame it on Tanga's nuds.
Right?
I was so grateful when I suddenly it was pointed out to me that Michelle After Dark is an English true crime presenter. The relief, because the only one that came to mind was Carl, and it's just like, there's no way I can do the Scouse accent.
It's the draping of the necktie as well.
Right?
It's all of the things, all of it. The pointed toe, the whole situation. I'm here for it all.
Is that smart casual?
Yes. It's exactly what I call it.
Crispy Trees, I will forever love the Facebook group for the Flat Earth Association that bragged about the fact that they had members all around the globe.
Get it, the globe?
I'm surprised they haven't invented
I
an
had to explain it to
alternative,
Purple and the people in the bushes.
Oh yeah, can you imagine?
Flat Earth, but then they said around the globe. Get it? Globe is round, like, Okay. I've explained it for the bush people.
Widow, I have some handy dandy pictures that I will try to give to the jerks for another moment that will illustrate such an issue. Oh dear.
I do find it very odd, Eileen, that they can say the things that they say, and then the next minute they're throwing out requests for prayers, which of course don't appear to be actual prayers, but are little hand emojis. And then, this is the same person who takes prayers back. I mean, do you believe in prayer or do you not? Now, is this some special arrangement that you've got with the Almighty, sort of sail or return?
Yeah, I'm not sure how that works.
It's one of those like extended family phone plans that you get from your telephony provider that you can contact the Almighty, and then you can ask for whatever little emoji was offered up to be returned at your every whim. You're welcome. Thank you for attending my TED Talk.
Public disclaimer, Liverpool is a fantastic place. Carl is not representative of the people or the culture.
Right, I have to be straight here. It gives me a visceral reaction when people used to misrepresent him as Irish, just like a
It used to
certain
blow
other.
my mind. It's like they are not even remotely similar accents. How are you thinking that?
Right, my people are crazy, but don't you put that on us. No, no, no. We have enough stuff to be dealing with. We are not responsible for this. No.
But then again, this was the same people who thought that I was South African and that we's Jamaican.
The traveling
Jamaican?
wee. Jamaican via Tennessee, Australia, and basically everywhere. You name it, I've apparently been there. It's been amazing. It's been quite the tour.
Somebody killed Widow. That's not nice. Does anybody know CPR?
We is global, yo. The we has been officially free and doing all the things. Oh, it's amazing. Amazing. The reach. The reach. Oh dear.
Sarah, I tend to agree. I imagine the same. I imagine Carl isn't so popular where he lives. Or maybe he's just completely calm and soft-spoken when he's not on YouTube. It's just maybe his YouTube persona.
Maybe he's just like some sort of zen, chill, relaxed dude in everyday life who's just, hugging kittens in the street and doing all the things. And it's just on YouTube he's different, or any of the various other platforms. But yeah, I think that's a thing. Oh, J. Marie, not only is he still around, but he's living his best life, ably supporting old Tiffers and Benny. Hey. Oh.
Hey, Dory.
Swim. Oh, yes, J. Marie. Oh, yes. We need one of Bugsy's uber special baptisms for that entire situation. That's going to take a whole lot.
I remember somebody said that was a threat when Bugsy said she'd baptize him. Can you imagine baptism as a threat? I can't.
Oh dear. It's adorable.
You found us through them weasels? Oh my goodness. Well, welcome.
The conversation about we being Jamaican is what led to this.
A wee bobsled?
Yes, Cool Runnings Ewok edition.
Wee runnings! Oh! Ah, dear. Sorry, I had to collect myself there a little bit because that already.
Wait. Benny called him out as a Russian pimp?
Oh, yeah, they've been there, done that. Now they're all hanging out together again. It's just, I don't get it, but okay. Okie dokie. Alrighty then. Breach. It's the first day in a long time where most people have forgotten. Breeze
I
comes
was just
storming in
thinking
there.
Breeze just got dropped from the Christmas card list.
Happy birthday, Wee.
I hate you all.
No, you don't.
Yes, Stars. I believe that the point was that he had some sort of modelling agency where there were quite a lot of Eastern European women associated with it, which is not that unknown. We do have quite a large Polish and Eastern European element of immigration in this country, and some of the Polish girls, I tell you, they are stunning. So it wouldn't surprise me at all that if they couldn't find a job at the supermarket, they'd look, take up somebody's offer of modelling work. Although modelling had a few question marks over the top of it. I think Benny was just sort of putting Russian in place of Eastern European. It's all the same.
Right. Oh dear. He was getting very Cold War with some of his rhetoric at that point as well. It was like, oh come on, dude, now you're letting yourself down at this point and not saying something. Just stop.
Oh, Carrie. Have a good day, hon.
Thanks for joining us, Cara. It was good to see you. Well, ladies, we're going up to 2.5 hours. I'm going to drop down now anyway, but I don't know whether you want to carry on. Not that any of you need me to steer things. Goodness knows you're probably better off on your own.
We always need you to steer things.
Oh, Lord. If you just see how
Second
absolutely
convictions, yes, I am.
frantic Bugsy and I were when it was 1 minute to going live, and there were just the two
we
of
want
us.
to be on time.
I'm so sorry. It was
No.
9:09 when I was like,
No.
I was going to at least go get them started.
No, Tanka got it set up.
Anyway,
Yeah.
it's fine because we know now. So
Good. That's the important thing. I mean, I hate for people to have to figure stuff out like that away.
I'll show you the level of my
There's nothing wrong
tiredness
with
and
that.
intelligence. I just gave you the thumbs up to my mic in case you didn't see it. Oh,
I don't know
dear.
what that means.
Hey, we've been really good, Widow. We've been so good about being on time. I'm so proud of all of us.
Right? It's very enjoyable for people. There's a whole lot of things for people to go and see. Some people take that for granted on
Woohoo.
YouTube. There are certain people that don't. And that is a very precious thing on YouTube. So thank you, everybody who shows up.
Yeah,
Thank
hit
you
the
all
like.
for-
Don't lick it. Don't lick the like button. Just hit it.
I would.
Thank you all for showing up, and those that have shared us and
We love
and
you
all
guys.
of that. We do love you, and we appreciate it. The subs are growing. We're getting there, little by little. We're getting there.
Have ideas for us to talk about? Send them to us. We're willing
The
to
real
look.
bad news, Eileen, is that he didn't actually mean to propose to you. He was saying something completely different. But when you assumed that he'd proposed and said yes, he felt obliged.
I'm sure it'll be a nice wee day out. We'll have a grand time.
I'm teasing, but I couldn't resist.
I'm glad you got to see us, Widow.
Are we about ready to close it out? No, not quite.
Yes, yes, yes. I'm hungry. I don't know about you guys, but I'm hungry.
Wait, let's see what Crispy said. Oh, the Julie fucking Applewhite song.
Wait, song. I don't care what people call me.
The first time I heard it, and I played that around my house.
It's a happy
all
song.
the time. It's on my playlist. It is a happy song.
It's a very happy song.
Julie Applegate is my favorite version so far because that reduces me into a sorry miss every time.
I mean, I've heard people call my husband applesauce at work, and I'm like, okay, I don't care. It doesn't matter. It was my maiden name that was so hard for people to say. I'm like, just stop. Just stop. I was so thankful when I got a really easy name.
And don't forget, everybody, if you haven't already hit the thumbs up, please do so. Please make sure you leave a comment in the comments area after the live stream because that helps in the algorithm. The jerks have already made a huge break back into the YouTubes with their new and improved version. Unfortunately, there's unfortunate we happening, but look, we can't have everything. But if you leave a comment, that helps them get further along. So please do that also. Even if
you
can
leave a comment about, name somebody, name the person in the chat that you would most like to see a commercial made about.
Oh, yes.
Commercials are so much.
I love it.
Fun.
Yes, that's a great idea.
That is a great idea, Pearl. Just put
you
Pearl
guys
to work.
You guys name the people, then
we'll
take the top ones and come up with a plan.
You are allowed to name yourself, but only once. No repeats of yourself, please.
Oh, this is going to be fun.
You get bonus marks if you tell Bugsy to lick that person. I'm just saying. Hey.
Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, no. J. Marie wants a commercial.
Aww.
You guys can't do it now. You have to do it in the comments section on the replay.
On the comments. Yep.
I will not be paying attention to any requests in the chat. Comments.
And no, we're not giving Brenda a commercial about her horse behind Dollar General. Nope. Not happening.
Public service announcement from the Shop Workers of America.
We can make anything. We can make anything work.
and a shout out to Ziggy, you fat ass walrus.
She's gonna get that in every time she can.
Try to do it quietly, not as loud.
No, go do it loud. Do it loud. Do it proud.
Ziggy, shut up, you fat ass walrus.
That was better.
Is that better?
That was better.
It's adorable.
She's She's still held back on us a little bit.
Right. We'll get there. We'll get there.
We'll get there. She'll find her voice. But yes, definitely leave us a comment, share us out. We appreciate it so much.
Gosh, we're
It is
excited
helping
about
us
the
grow.
commercials now. I'm excited
They're a lot.
about the commercials.
I know. I get so excited when I find out
There's-
Pearl's finished up another one.
I know, they're just great. They're amazing. I do love this. Thank you, Pooh. This was amazing. I like how the glasses come down.
I do too.
And it's just the utterly chill vibe of, I got this.
Yep.
I got this.
I love it. Love you, J. Marie.
And don't
Like
forget
that.
to also please check out Pooh's
Oh.
channel if you haven't. If you have missed the content that Pooh has been putting out. Pooh has been reported to the police I don't know how many times with all of the things. Realistically, all that they are doing is putting out little videos that shows the depravity that is happening on the YouTubes. So please do the same over there. Like, share, subscribe, do all the YouTubey things. Leave a comment. It all helps.
Can we make a commercial about Pooh? Also, Heidi calling the red phone and it lighting up.
I would love
That
see
would-
doing Heidi
calling you-
reporting Pooh to
Yes.
the police.
Yes, and make it like Batman, like Matthew was saying, like the Batman phone with Officer whatever his name was, Gordon, where it lights up. Gordon, my daughter's correcting me, so
Pooh
yeah,
and
that would
light
be
up into the
good.
night sky.
I love it. I just love it. Pooh with a cape on.
I think Officer Dibble would be more fitting for that level of conversation.
Officer Devil.
Can you imagine? Can you imagine what they fantasize Pooh's rap sheet to look like? Oh man!
As they unroll the toilet paper, looking at it.
Right? This rap sheet's on toilet paper.
Do you remember the intro to Oz? I don't know if you ever watched Oz, the prison drama. I'm thinking of the intro to Oz, but with Pooh in several of the cells.
I am here for every second of that.
Oh, I
Pearl.
love that.
If you
Yes, yes,
haven't
yes,
watched Oz, and if you're of a sensitive disposition, be prepared. It can be rough,
Oh hell!
but
Please be prepared. It's very, very good, but heck,
right,
it's graphic.
it's graphic because it's real. It's
I
so
can say
good.
with my hand on my heart, as somebody who's watched every single episode of Oz, there is
Yep.
not a part of Christopher Maloney that I've not seen, and I mean that in the most literal sense. Even his butthole. Oz
I
will
know,
take you
right?
there.
Oh my gosh!
Please be
Pearl!
careful.
It is an
I'm
amazing
serious.
sight.
It really is, isn't it,
Yeah.
Ray? It's
Yep. And trust me, that is one of
Yikes.
the most enjoyable things in that whole show.
What, his
You
butthole?
will live for that butthole. Hey.
I love Christopher Maloney and Lee Tergesen as the couple were just fantastic in Oz. That love-hate relationship. Yikes.
Right. I was going through this with a friend the other day, coincidentally enough, because I was talking about Oz. And we were talking about the scenes in it and the comparative things that you see that are not really safe to discuss at this time of day, no matter where you are. It's a lot. It's a lot. But there's a reason for it because those things happen. But there is some very witty and excellent dialogue in that. The acting is just amazing. It's an amazing show, even though it's old comparatively, as in it's not been made this week. Please, if you have not seen it, or even if you have, refresh your memory. That little butthole is there for you to enjoy and for Bugsy to lick till her little heart's content. You're welcome.
Oh gosh.
You have no idea how quick I was racing to get there. I was like,
On that note, are we ready?
Can I just quickly agree here with Crispy Tweet? I am not a person who's easily offended. But boy, there were moments watching us where I went, excuse me?
Right, right. You're like, what just happened? What? Mm. Oh, yes, stars. Oh, yes.
Stars don't ask.
I'm sorry, I just had to post that as a single word because it's such a great quote to highlight. But whole question mark.
Right? Of all the things that have happened, I feel like I have said that word repeatedly in various ways so often that it's beginning to concern me, never mind anyone else. I don't know.
It stopped sounding like a real word about 5 buttholes ago.
Great. I think you've killed we.
Oh no.
Again, do you ever imagine a time in true crime where the parent of a missing child would reveal so much about themselves psychologically, emotionally, and unfortunately physically?
Right? I still laugh when I think about Doug's wrestling moments, though. That B. Tim shared with us. That was hilarious.
It's a shame that the true crime sector is on the internet and not an actual area of the world, because I imagine Louis Theroux doing a fantastic documentary about the community.
Okay, we's there. Good. We don't have to come check
I
you.
had to mute myself. I could not.
Did you
Look,
fall?
If I know what I sound like whenever I laugh. I'm not the person for being the deadpan person whenever people say funny things. I think you all realize that by now. But there's times where you just have to be grateful that there is a mute button, because there's a lot.
Given your speed and accuracy with the mute button, could you draw a diagram for Heidi, please?
I don't think there's any amount of color by numbers. I noticed that Magpie was trying to be very helpful. How did that image fall on the screen again?
Oh, oops. Not again. That's not
There's
the
going to be
diagram we were
drama
looking
about
for.
this. I sense drama coming.
That was not the diagram I was looking for. My apologies.
Oh dear. I don't think that would help certain people, though. They don't seem to understand that that's a thing. I don't know how many times we can cover it in glitter, cover it in flashing lights, do all the things. They don't care. They just don't. Their own people don't care.
Could we petition StreamYard to make it the mute button, instead of it being like a mic, more shaped like a penis? That might get their
R.I.P.
attention.
Karen, gone but not forgotten.
just saying.
It wouldn't be a bad idea, but then, look, Bugsy's licking everything round here. We
Oh
can't
gosh.
be responsible for the unfortunate things that would happen. I'm just saying.
This is true. This is true. That could be a problem. Absolutely nothing cheesier.
Even Bugsy has her limit. She is not licking those balls. You're welcome. She's hating me right now. I love you, Bugsy. Please don't kill me.
Whew.
I love you. Happy birthday.
Oh dear, I couldn't. I had to just, you know. You know.
You know. Yeah, I know. Yeah, I know.
Oh dear. Sorry.
No, you're not.
No, really not.
No, you're not.
Look, you were licking buttholes a minute ago. You
Oh,
should be
no,
grateful.
stop.
I
Okay.
didn't do it. She did it. I didn't.
Oh, man. No.
We went the wrong way.
Good Lord, it's a daytime live. You guys are gonna make me get out my daytime purse, start day drinking. I mean,
Oh, that's
it's gonna be a
cute.
whole
Oh,
thing.
I love that. I like that.
Not the Chanel.
Oh, that's cute.
No, Chanel.
I could put my Pepsi in that.
Pepsi, sure.
My daughter's
Bugsy.
rolling her eyes.
Sure.
It is cute. That was a wonderful idea, Eliza. I like that.
And on that note, I think it's time for us to go ahead and put this
Forget-
live.
It's not even
Out of its
nighttime and we're all being loopy.
Yeah. Thank you all for coming. Have a great day.
Thank you guys. Love you.
You're embarrassing yourself. Go to bed.
Good night.